This section, we are going to learn about HTML semantics. Now, what are HTML semantic elements? Semantic elements means elements with a meaning. A semantic element clearly describes its meaning to both the browser and the developer. Examples of non-semantic elements are div and span. It tells nothing about its content. Anything can be inside a div and a span. But when you look at the element form, table, or article, you can understand that what inside the elements are. Maybe inside the form element there are forms, inside the table element there must be a table, and inside the article element there should be an article. Now let's look at some of the semantic elements in HTML. Article, aside, details, fig caption, figure, footer, header, main, mark, nav, section, summary, and time. Now, here you can see a skeleton of a website. First, we have the header, then we have nav, then we have some section, article, and beside section and article, we may have a site, and lastly, we have footer. Now, let's look at header. The HTML header element represents a container for introductory content or a set of navigation links. A header element typically contains one or more heading elements from H1 to H6, logo or an icon, authorship information. Note that you can have several header elements in one HTML document. However, header cannot be placed within a footer, address, or another header element. Now let's have a look at an example. For header element, we are going to first type header, and then we are going to write H1. What is heading? And then we are going to write P. Lorem 50. So this is a heading. It does not change anything, but your browser knows that this is a header. This is very good for SEO. Now we'll have a look at the nav element. The nav element defines a set of navigation links. Let's have a look at it in our code. For navigation, we are going to write nav, and then we are going to take our navigation links. An anchor tag is going to say HTML, HTML, and then I'm going to copy paste it 4 times. Right here CSS, CSS, right here JS, right here jQuery. Now, when you are a developer and you see the nav elements, you are going to understand that whatever inside this is being used for navigation. Now let's look at the section element. The section element defines a section in a document. Section element can be used for chapters, introduction, news items, and for contact information. And note that a web page could normally be split into sections for introduction, content, and contact information. So let's have a look at it in our code. Let's just say we want to have a section that is going to contain user information. So we are going to take a section, give it a class name, user information, and inside that we are going to write h1 username, then user email, and then user address. Now, let's just say you want to have another section that is going to show users banking information. To do that, you can take another section and write user banking information. You can write bank name, account number, and available balance. Now, when you see these two, you can easily differentiate between the two sections. Now, let's have a look at HTML article element. The article element specifies independent self-contained content. Article element can be used for forum post, blog post, user comments, product cards, or newspaper articles. So let's have a look at it in our code. For article, we are going to take article. Inside that, we are going to take a heading. We are going to name it today's top news. And we are going to take a p tag with lorem 50. Now, whenever you see that, you know that inside these tags, whatever it is going to be an article. Now, HTML aside element. The aside element defines some content aside from the content it is placed in, like a sidebar. The aside content should be indirectly related to the surrounding content. Now, suppose you have a news article and you want to give your readers, additional information about the content. To do that, you can use aside. So, first we are going to take the aside element, and inside that we are going to write h4 today's news details and lorem 20. Now your browser can easily understand that these two things should be side by side. That is why we use the aside element. And lastly, let's learn about the footer element. The footer element defines a footer for a document or section. A footer element typically contains authorship information, copyright information, contact information, sitemap, back to top links, related documents. Now note that you can have several footer elements in one document. So let's have a look at it in our code. Here in our web page, we want to add a footer. To add that, we are going to write footer, and then inside the footer, we are going to write author. And copyright 2024. So this is how you can use the footer. Now we are going to learn two more elements. One is figure and another one is fig caption. The figure tag specifies self-contained content like illustration, diagram, photos, code listing, and etc. The fig caption tag defines a caption for a figure element. The fig caption element can be placed as the first or as the last child of a figure element. The image element defines the actual image or illustration. So let's code it. We are going to take figure element, and inside the figure element, we are going to take an image tag and fig caption. So let's just say we want to see a photo of Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of World Wide Web, and I'm going to put a link to it. MP. Now I want to give a caption for this photo. To do that, I can write, you can see there is a caption beneath the photo. So this is how we can use figure and fig caption.